Well, hello guitar players, my name is Josh Snodgrass and today I'm going to show you how to play my fingerstyle arrangement of He Leadeth Me. I've actually done a couple of different arrangements of this one over the years, and this most recent one, I'm excited about it. It's a little bit more difficult maybe than some of my other pieces, but it makes use of some natural harmonics, and I just think it's neat. I really enjoy playing it, so I hope you do too. First things first, I have at my website I have a guitar tab for this song, and that will help you out immensely, of course. This is a note for note version of the recording that I did recently. I put it on YouTube, and I'll probably put it on a CD or album eventually. But yeah, this is note for note compared to that recording. So I will put a link in the description to both where you can get the guitar tab and also where you can go and watch the video where I perform this all the way through. And one thing with learning to play fingerstyle guitar music, I know it's difficult, right? And learning to play someone else's arrangements can be kind of a challenge. And so if you watch that video or this video, anytime you're trying to learn music from watching a YouTube video, you can just go into the lower corner there and click the settings and use there's a place you can adjust the playback speed. So you can set it to like 0.75 or even half speed, and that will really help you to be able to just in more closer detail observe the kind of the subtleties of what's going on in videos, and also then you can hear it more slowly, because I think that really when you're learning a fingerstyle guitar piece, it's nice to have guitar tabs so you can see what is being done, but then also be able to hear it with your ears and just understand, be able to hear and recognize melodies and chords and that kind of thing. That's a great way to learn. But then also be able to watch someone else's fingers is helpful. So you have all three of those things helping you with this one. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few things about the way the guitar is set up here. So one thing is I'm using what's called a drop D capo here. So this covers all the strings except the low E string. And so I've got this on the 2nd fret. And also I've got my guitar, all the strings are tuned down a step. So I'm tuned to D, G, C, F, A, D. And that's nice because it makes the strings just easier to push down, which, if you play fingerstyle guitar, you kind of have to practice a lot. And of course, playing an acoustic guitar a lot, your fingers can get sore. And so I love to tune my guitar down, just make it so I can play more, more hours in the day. And then it also gives you kind of this low tone. So with the drop D capo tuned down and stuff like this is my D chord here, just this normal D shape. And, it sounds nice and full and rich. So, and this song is actually in the key of D, and it starts with a cascading harmonics intro. And to be honest, this is the first time I've ever made use of cascading harmonics in a recording. And so this is kind of a simple little way to get into it. And it's a first for me, so maybe if you haven't done cascading harmonics before, maybe this can be a first for you too. And cascading harmonics, the way this works is, normally when we do think of harmonics on the guitar, well, let's say we're on the 12th fret or whatever, and I'll go 12th fret above the capo here, use this finger kind of as the fulcrum to split where the string is vibrating, and then this other hand picks those notes. There's another way to do it where you can use the pointer finger in this hand to act as the fulcrum, and then that leaves you over here to where you can still make a chord. So let's say I'm going to make this D chord and then go outline it on the 12th fret. And so what I have to do is, because I'm going to have to go 12 frets from that open string there, and then 12 frets from these two strings that are on the capo, so that's on the 14th fret. And then I have to go 12 frets up from that one, right? And so then I can kind of outline this whole chord like that. And of course that works on the 7th fret as well. So one thing I should tell you about this is that with my guitar tab, I have, like when I'm doing this open D here, that's 2 frets below the capo. And so on my guitar tab, I'll call that a -2 instead of an open. Because there are arrangements where I'll actually play, right behind the capo here to get that, what becomes an E minor, or what would be like an E note there. And so that would be a 0. But when I've got this open low string here, I call that a -2. And then, of course, other than that, all the numbers are up from the fret. That way you can kind of identify the chords and things like that. So yeah, getting into this cascading harmonic section. So first we're going to just pick this low string. And over here, I'm just going to put my pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then my third finger on the 3rd fret. And so this is kind of part of this D chord here, but I'm going to pick that bass note and let it ring, and then I'm going to use my fourth finger to pick that to pick that G string. So, and then I'm going to do 7th fret of the D string, and then use my fourth finger to pick the B string that's in this chord, and then I've got to go up here to the 9th fret, 7th fret above that note right there, pick that one, and then I'm going to pick that high E. And so you'll see in the tab how this is notated, and you can kind of make sense of it there, because it shows 2 sets of numbers, both where the left hand is should be fretted, and then also where you should pick. So the way this sounds is like this. Do it again, and then just rings out, and then I will put this this G bass down and do the same thing again, and then go back to the D chord, and then back to the G. So the second time when I'm going through, I make it a little bit longer, so I'll do it again. And so when I get that note there, I've got to lift up the pointer finger. So I let that ring for a second, and then I'm just going to go into the first verse of this song. This first verse is, I should tell you something actually about this intro. If cascading harmonics is too hard for you, and you don't want to get into the technique of this right now, but you still want to play the song, that's fine. Just, play something like... Just play something like that, and it'll still be pretty. And then you can go into the song. So, the intro is kind of optional, I guess you could say. So when I start playing this song, it's the old hymn, He Leadeth Me, and I stick to the melody there. And so in the first verse, I'm going to incorporate some natural harmonics into the melody. So some of the notes are going to be, fretted notes, and some of the notes will be harmonics, and it kind of gives this kind of a cool, just a beautiful sound. And so the first note is actually this 5th fret on the high string there. And so that's He leadeth me. So on the me, I do on the 12th fret here, and that's the A and D string. And then I'm going to go. And this is kind of my stretched out G chord. If you've learned some of my other songs, you've probably seen this. So what this chord is, and really before you get too far in playing my songs, you should probably do a little exercise where you go, playing a D chord like this, where it's D chords with the 4th finger. I mean, just like a D chord, but with the 4th finger up here on the 5th fret. So you get that. And then this other little stretched G I've got here with the pointer fingers on the 3rd fret. And the 4th finger is all the way up here on the 7th fret. And so the one way I like to do is just stretch my fingers out, and they kind of reach there. And if you've got smaller hands, this may be difficult for you. But the nice thing is, since we're capoed up here a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier to reach. So I bet if you stretch out your fingers, you can probably get that. So yeah, you might kind of practice going back and forth between those two chords, because I use them a lot. But back to the melody here. So I'll start over with the verse. So there's that stretched G. And then, so I do a stretched G down to kind of and then I jump up here. And then this is kind of that B bass, so the 7th fret above the capo. And then I'm playing the B the G and B strings on the 12th fret above the capo. So that's the melody notes there. And then I just go back down. And this time, I'm doing on the 7th fret and the 2 on the D and the G string there. So then, after that, I hammer onto that F sharp there, the 2nd fret. And then I just go to like an A sus here. And go and do that same thing again. And so this is a G with a B in the bass, again, that, and I use this a lot. This is on the 10th fret above the capo, and this is 7th fret above the capo. And so I kind of use a little bit of vibrato there. Also, when I'm playing this on this first verse, I leave an extra beat in there, just kind of for dramatic effect. So when I'm... And then this is kind of a B minor shape. And that's, you know, I use some hammer-ons and stuff, and hammer-ons, pull-offs. Okay, so that's the end of the first verse, and I just kind of do an arpeggio and that D chord there to, you know, in between as I'm going to cycle to the next verse. And so I actually just go right into the second verse here. The second verse is going to be fuller with, you know, kind of more arpeggio chords, and it's also going to have a little bit of altered chords compared to what we typically think of. So I'll just show you how it goes. So it's going to be the same melody. And so then I'm going to play that F sharp in the bass for that D chord there. So there's D to F sharp, and then that G again, and then that's that B. And this is the 8th fret down here in the B string. And so here's kind of where you probably don't expect a G chord in this spot, but I think it's pretty, so I put this in here. It's kind of a G major 7th shape. So when I go up here, in the second verse, I don't pause and leave this, you know, this extra. I don't leave that note just ringing like that. I kind of do more like what you typically expect with the Sam. So, and so this ends very similar to the first verse with the same shapes there, where it's D, B minor, A, D, rolls again, and then we're going to go into the first chorus. And really, I play this chorus 3 times in the song, and the first 2.5 times, it's pretty much the same. And what it does is it makes use of, I don't know if you've seen this octave shape here, but on the bottom, so this is my 4th finger's on the 5th fret of the high E string. And my pointer finger is on the 2nd fret there of the G string, and so this is an octave. And the neat thing about this, you can move this anywhere there, and it will give you an octave. And so when I'm playing this chorus, I make use of kind of sliding this chord, this up and down a little bit. Kind of gives you a very full sound. So what I do is, so I go from the, so I'll count with the pointer finger. So it's like 2, 7, and that's with that D in the bass, and then I'll go up to the A in the bass. That's that open A string. So then I'll put this on the 6th fret, and then the 6th and the 9th fret. So yeah, you get the D at first, then the A, right? So, and then I'm going to do this walk down. So, and this is a case where we go from that D chord to that G I mentioned earlier. And then we just go same thing again. Except this time goes to the A at the end, kind of to resolve it. But this actually, so at the end of this first chorus, and this is the spot I often goof myself up, is that when I go, you could play that note right there, and that's where I want to play it. But what I actually do is play it there. I play this harmonic, and so I'm transitioning now in between the first chorus and the next verse. That's what I'm calling the 3rd verse. I do a natural harmonic section here, and I really like this. So, and then I just go on the 7th fret here. And then I go, that's going to be a B in the bass, and then A in the bass. And you see that time I'm catching that one on the 5th fret there. Whoops. you may notice, and one thing I didn't mention at the beginning is I'm using a flat pick and then using my fingers. So I play a hybrid. You can do this with just your thumb and fingers, or you can do this with a thumb pick. But when I'm playing this, I'm hybrid picking, and for all these for this whole harmonic section right here, I'm not using my fingers. I'm just using the pick because it's nice and crisp, and it just makes it easier to get those harmonics. Sometimes also, if you move your hand a little back toward the bridge, that might help you get those to ring out a little bit better. And just one tip with harmonics is, what you want to do is you want to pick these pretty hard and release as quickly as you can. If you leave your finger there, it kind of dulls it. But if you pick hard and let go as quick as possible, they ring out nice. Of course, it's very unforgiving because then sometimes you get those notes like that where you pick really loud and you miss your timing a little bit, and that's part of it. So, but yeah, the section. Slide up there. All right, so I let that ring out. We're going to go into the third verse, and the third verse is going to be kind of a three-part harmony kind of a feel. And actually, when I was first going to arrange this hymn this time, I had heard an a cappella group sing this with three-part harmony, and it was just so beautiful. And so I started messing around with this. So this was actually the first piece of the song I arranged when I was working on this. But with this version, I'm not going to put it in this low D note. I'm going to leave that out. And sometimes it's nice in fingerstyle guitar arrangements to drop out and not use your bass note for a second, so that when it comes back in, it comes in with power again. So this one, it goes like, and so here I've got kind of a D with an F sharp there as a, and then I'm going to use a hammer on. So you see this is 7th fret, 5th fret, and so it's going to be, and that time it's the same shape, but this time I do the pull off instead of the hammer on. I like to kind of slide. And then it's going to be the same. So this time when I play this chord, it's kind of the same as before, except I'm putting an extra note now. I'm using my third finger, and it's kind of be natural to use your middle finger, but I need to save that out for a second. So use my third finger on the 8th fret above the capo on the B string, and it gives me that harmony down there. And then I just pull this off. So, whoops. So I don't play the bass yet. Then there's when the bass goes back in. And then now we're ready to play with power. On this, and this second chorus is just the same as the first chorus, except I'm playing it with kind of some power and oomph, and just trying to. Maybe this is kind of the point where the song gets the biggest here in terms of the most volume and dynamic. So, okay, and so when I'm coming out of this one, I am going to play that note, but I'm going to play it with my. I'm going to go to this chord shape here. So this is a chord shape I love to use. If you've listened to very much my music, you've probably heard me use this in different songs. This is a D at 11, I think. But anyways, what I do is third finger on the 4th fret on the D string, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And so that gives you this cool chord that works really well with the G and the bass too. So so I'll go. This is just my transition to that last verse. And so as I'm getting ready to come into it, so I cycle through this chord progression twice. You know, it's D, G, D, G. And as I'm coming out of the G, I go back to that melody note for that to start the last verse. And it's just like that second verse we did so far. Oops. Yeah, except after this point, this time instead of going to the B minor, I'm going to do an F sharp in the bass. And then going to that G chord, like that. So all right, and then it's right back into that big last verse. And this first half is the same up until about this point. I start to play a little softer, so I'll play it. Okay, and then the second half of this verse, I'm actually going to change a little bit. I'm just going to use this octave, so and with the and I'm going to not use the low bass anymore. So what I'm doing there is, oops, so that's 7. I'll count from the pointer finger. A lot of times when I'm sliding around like this, I identify a finger, and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking of what fret that finger's going on, because you can think, oh, what fret is the fourth finger on, what fret's the first finger, and I get confused sometimes. So I'm thinking about that finger. Where's that finger going? So it's going 2, 7, 6, 9, 7, 6, 4, 2, 4, and then we're back into this normal D shape. So yeah, so let me do this again. I'm going into this here, I'm just alternating. So I'll pick the B string, D string, G string, D string. And then I'll go into just a tagged ending here. So what I'll do is, I'll start up here with these two fingers. So this is on the 7th fret above the capo, and I'll use the middle finger here. I'm going to do this. So pick those two, and do a pick, then pull off, pick again. And then you want to slide with them. And this is back down to kind of these two notes that would be in the D chord on the 2nd fret. And I kind of hammer and pull off. So let me do it. And there you have it. That's the end. This end kind of mimics, ending with like an a cappella melody and harmony, maybe a soprano or an alto or something singing the end part, and it kind of ends dramatically, ends beautifully. So I hope you enjoy this song. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Again, go get the guitar tab. It will be such a help. And and I'm hoping and planning to do many more video lessons on my channel now. My son's helping me some with this. So let me know, is there a hymn or a worship song you'd like to see arranged? Just drop that in the comments, and I will see what I can do to help you out with that. And so happy playing. One more thing, like and subscribe, help me get these videos out there. Share them with your, if you know somebody who would be interested in learning to play this song, please share it with them. So thanks so much. God bless. Bye.